continues to have two email addresses. Julie has Julie at clearbit.com and Julie at clearbit.co. And I think these two are valid known emails that will be on the website. So Julie uses both of those emails. One of those is like she uses it to log into the product. One of them she emails us on. They're basically interchangeable in the Clearbit system, which is completely valid. Like, we technically have an alternate domain at this company whose emails go directly to the same inbox. So anyone at our company, if they wanted to, they could tell you my email is so-and-so at this other name, right? And when you use those interchangeably, you'll end up in our system ingested. So our email experiences with Julie have that data ingested with one of those emails, but all of our product data is ingested with a different email. And so what do? Right now you have to realize that this person who's emailed us 20 times is actually the same person that's been using the product in all these ways, but they don't have the same email. And there's no identifier that matches them. So any human would look at that and say, obviously this is the same person, right? But a computer honestly doesn't know. Like, there's no evidence that Clearbit.co and Clearbit.com are the same system, and that two people called Julie are the same person, right? There's no evidence of those things. And so that's where identity resolution becomes like necessary. And that's why it's often a heuristic and often with a lot of mistakes. And people even throw AI at this problem, right? It's a very like popular kind of AI kind of topic, because how do you determine that two Julies are the same Julie? Just if all you have is like email, name, and activity that this person did, right? So yeah. Well, you're asking me, like, I haven't kept up, so I think it's changed since the last time I looked at it. That's my short answer for you. But I believe the account spans the two domains. And so because a lot of what we need to do is at the account level, we make sure that like both of your identities were mapped into the same account, which is actually the kind of the more important identity in this case. And then I think I'm trying to remember, but like, I think we treat one as primary so that when we want to sync your information into an email tool, it goes by the primary. I think that's what we did, but now I'm forgetting. But I think that's a great problem, right? It's like, so if it's a bag of emails, if Julie has a bag of emails in our system, do you define a primary? Do you not, right? And you'd be amazed at how many other systems are also bad at this. So I'll give you the best horror scenario I've ever seen from one of our customers. So people, even if you don't have this particular example where you have two work emails that are nearly identical but are not quite identical, almost everyone, really all humans, have a personal email and a work email, right? And in Julie's case, a bunch of burner emails too. And so there are companies that we work with for whom the personal email is actually part of the system. So you can think of, like, imagine you're an HR tool and you need to know the employee's work email, but you also need their personal email so you can send them like certain, let's say W-2 information or whatever to their personal email. And so we work with companies like this, and it is very easy to screw this up, where you have to define those two emails as, is one primary, is one secondary, even though they're not really primary. It's really a work and personal. And downstream tools like support tools like Zendesk, they will embrace the idea that a person can have multiple email identities. The hardest problem is that some products don't even acknowledge that a person can have two emails. And so then you're in a really tough spot. What if you do have two emails for a person and this other product doesn't know? So now you got to pick one. But in this case, Zendesk allows for multiple emails per person. But it has very peculiar underlying rules for how it will reply to a person. And so through a very minute mishap of getting the data just right in the data side, but not realizing how Zendesk would treat the information, they suddenly started sending responses to all of their support tickets on the person's other email. So imagine writing to a company through your work email and getting a response on your personal email. And so people were freaking out, right? Even though it made total sense that this company had their personal email, it was like for good reason. But people want a thread to start on the email thread and continue on the email that they started with, right? But different tools have different behaviors on this front. So that's what. So in a way, identity resolution is not just a hard, subtle problem to resolve. It's also something where, again, just like attribution, it's very important to be able to maintain as much of that information throughout the pipeline, so that at the end tool where people are, let's say, responding to a support ticket, they know that when they get this email from Julie, that it's this user who has done these activities in the product. You definitely don't want to not know that, but that when you reply, you're replying to whatever email they've sent you an email by, right?